which brings me to the greatest civil rights violation of our time, which is taking place right now, and that is transgenderism. And I'm going to make a very strong statement right now, and I mean it. It is worse than Jim Crow laws because we are mutilating the bodies of children. How could you not see that as something worse? You segregated white people versus black people, you wouldn't be harming children, and we are doing that. The same usual suspects are supporting it, the mainstream media. Look around you. New York Times, the Washington Post, they're fostering this delusion. They're saying it's compassionate to allow your child to pick their gender. The science is in, guys. It's totally fine to allow children to take drugs that chemically castrate them, that render them infertile for the rest of their lives.
You know what, Candace? It's better than them committing suicide for being called, I don't know, Frankensteins from people like you. Oh wait, we haven't gotten there yet.
It's good for their mental psyche. There are all sorts of doctors and people with PhDs that are writing this. In fact, doctors and surgeons are performing these procedures to mutilate the bodies of our most vulnerable.
I was literally just talking about this the other day. This is how Republicans always come at anything when they fearmonger, especially on trans rights. They are wanting to mutilate children with doll samurai swords and rusty X-Acto knives. They want to cut their breasts and penises off with sledgehammers, doll spoons, doll rusty spoons that have been sitting outside in a stagnant puddle for 6 months. That's what they want to do to children. And no, it's the children that want to do this. It's not the parents that are pulling them aside like, you ready to get your dick cut off, son? It's about that time. No, this is what the kids want because they're ready to commit suicide otherwise. We are saving lives. Saving them. There's data, miles of data to back it up. You fucking psychopath.
You're talking about something that is borderline Frankenstein. It is Frankenstein. These are human experiments that are being performed on children.
And you wonder why a lot of these kids might be a little down on themselves, huh? Maybe because you're calling them Frankenstein human experiments. The only Frankenstein human experiment around here is you, Candace Owens. You know what they did for you? They took a little bit of orange Trump and sprinkled it into the blender. A little bit of Adolf, a little bit of Stalin, a little bit of communism, a little bit of fascism. Blend it up. Put it on that cookie cutout of the fucking million other Republicans just like you. Put in some chocolate coloring to make her black. Do you know what you remind me of? You remind me of Reese Witherspoon from Election, except as she was black and racist.
You know, instead of wasting your time interrogating me, we should be out there trying to figure out who did this.
Okay,
Candace.
who do you think did it? Whom should we interrogate?
Well, I don't know. You know, it could have been anybody. There's a lot of subversive elements here at Carver. Like Rick Thiessen or Kevin Speck and those burnouts. Or what about Tammy Metzler? I mean, her whole thing is being anti-this and anti-that.
You have a lot of admirable qualities. But one day maybe you'll learn that being smart and doing whatever you need to do to get ahead, and yes, stepping on other people to get there, well, there's a whole lot more to life than that. And in the end, you're only cheating yourself.
Why are you lecturing me? I don't know what you're referring to, but maybe if certain older, wiser people hadn't acted like such little babies and gotten so mushy, then everything would be okay. And I think certain older people, like you and your colleague, shouldn't be leching after their students, especially when some of them can't even get their own wives pregnant.
Case closed. They even make the same exact faces. They make the same faces, they talk the same, they have the same attitude problem, they have the same personality. It's almost like they went forward in future and saw Candace Owens and said, that's how we need to style Reese Witherspoon's character, because that's the most irritating character we could possibly think of.